What's up, my dear friend, and welcome to episode number 12. Neste episódio, eu vou compartilhar com você a minha paixão por viagens. E, junto com essa historinha que eu falo sobre viagens e ficar em casa ao mesmo tempo, eu compartilho com você 4 dicas de como é que você pode melhorar a sua prática de escuta. Como é que você pode padronizar a sua prática de escuta diária? Tá imperdível, né? Here we go, my friend.
Welcome to the Agora Follow podcast, where you learn English in a way you'll never forget. And now, your host, the craziest English teacher from Brazil, Leonardo Leite.
All right, my friend. Lembrando que este episódio está todo transcriptado, se é que existe esta palavra, e você pode baixar esse script no link que está aí nas anotações em algum lugar. Procure as anotações deste podcast. Se você estiver escutando no Spotify, ou no Apple, ou no Google, tem aí as anotações deste episódio com um link. Nesse link, você vai para o post oficial deste episódio, onde terá o link para você fazer o download de tudo que eu falo em inglês neste episódio. Alright? Are you ready? Here we go. Traveling. Hey! Oh my God, do I like doing some traveling. You know, I consider myself a homebody. Do you know what a homebody is? It's that kind of person who loves staying home, who really enjoys doing home stuff, such as reading, listening to music, having friends over, watching a movie, cooking, a whole lot of other things related to being home. But you know what? I am crazy about traveling. Isn't that an oxymoron? Okay. I know. That's not a very common word, but I am pretty sure you get the idea. Here's the idea. 2 opposite ideas. Being a homebody and loving to travel. That's an oxymoron, okay? But how can that be? In my world, my friend, that's perfectly possible. When I travel, I feel alive. I feel the adrenaline in my body. When I'm traveling, I really feel in my skin that the world is still moving, that life is happening no matter what I do, so I'd better do something. Traveling is like, going to school to learn about the world. And if you travel, you are going to learn about something. Not only about the world, but about people, their lives, their behaviors, their feelings. You're going to learn more about yourself. The thing is, when you're home, you're comfortable. You know your way around. You dominate the area, right? There are no challenges. And you know what? I love that too. But when I'm traveling, I have that feeling of not being stuck. And I'm always experiencing something new. Whether it's a new place, a new view, a new friend, a new dish, even a new challenge. Traveling makes you think in different ways all the time. It forces you into being more flexible towards life. You learn to be more respectful and understand that people are different and in a certain way, the same. The same need for love, caring, respect, attention. When we travel, these principles stand out in front of your eyes. And it makes you understand what really this is all about. When you travel, you realize how important it is to be able to communicate. Speaking English, my friend, is a must when traveling abroad. Trust me. If you're listening to this podcast, congratulations. Yeah. You're practicing what is most important communicating in English, especially if you're traveling abroad. What's that? listening, listening, and listening, my friend. Listening and understand during your trip. This is important, okay? Listening and understanding during your trip abroad is more important than speaking. Yes. And you know what? That's kind of obvious, because if you don't understand what people say to you, what's the use of speaking? Why are you going to bother trying to speak? You know what I mean? So don't you forget that. Your English speaking skills, they come from the activity of listening. Yes. And now I'm going to give you 4 tips for you to practice your listening before taking off to your next trip abroad. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Number 1, know what you're about to listen. Know before. Lots of people ask me if they, should watch TV or listen to music in order to practice their English. And I always say no. And people always ask, why not? And I always answer, because in order to really train your ears and mind for the English language, you have to control the activity of listening. What do I mean by that? Know what you're going to listen before you start listening. If it's an audio, have the script of that audio in hand and make sure you understand what it is about. New vocabulary, phrases, etc. If it's a video you're going to watch, make sure you know what the story in the video is about. New vocabulary, new phrases, and so on. And only after you are completely familiar with what you're going to listen, start listening. Start the listening activity. Okay? Number 2, listen as many times as you can in a short period of time. For example, let's imagine that you take 1 hour every day. Okay? You're going to practice your English for 1 hour. Listen to this audio material, to this one audio material as many times as you can within that hour. Dentro desta hora, o mesmo material. All right, let me clear that up. You start listening, and then you listen again and again and again until you're kind of, sick and tired of that same topic. In a way that if anybody asks you anything about what you're listening, you can practically tell the whole story with your own words. By doing that, your mind starts synchronizing with your ears, and you start having that feeling of, thinking in English. Because you have heard those phrases so much, so many times, that you won't feel the need for translation anymore. Now, if you do this every day, my friend, trust me, something's going to happen. And you will feel amazed when you listen to other materials. Number 3, answer questions about the topic you have just listened. When I create a piece of audio, I include questions about the topic. The magic stories. And you can answer as you listen. You won't need to stop playing to answer. You'll have the feeling as if you were talking to me about that topic, in the audio. This will give you speed of conversation because you won't answer with long sentences. You'll answer with short sentences, just like a normal conversation. And the last tip in this podcast, and I've said this so many times. Number 4, pay attention. Learn to have fun with this. I'm not saying have fun with this. I'm saying learn how to have fun with this process. You got to have fun during your training. Just like when you're traveling. Remember this. When we travel, there are exciting moments and there are boring, hard, and difficult moments. But during the trip, we all try to have fun all the time, right? With the good and bad times. Same thing goes for English training. Have fun. Don't let the difficult parts of English training get in the way of your having fun. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so now it's your turn. Write down here somewhere in the comments about, if you like traveling and what is challenging for you when it comes to traveling. All right? I will love to answer all the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Eu espero que você tenha gostado deste áudio. Não esqueça de voltar, escutar novamente e, é claro, você terá a transcrição deste áudio all in Portuguese for you, ok? Não esqueça de clicar aí no link para você baixar a transcrição deste áudio. Thank you so much for listening and I'll see you soon. Bye now.